start with Nick Natanui. Does he get a game this weekend, or are you going to give him another week to get ready?
Yeah, I'm going to give you a few more hours to work that out. Yeah, and we're going to leave that decision for you guys till the team's selected. So, yeah, we'll hold off on announcing that one. So.
We've got to be at the airport.
Well, yeah, you're not going to read too much at the airport either, because we've got 3 or 4 guys on different flights, or more. So, yeah. Anyway, I'll leave that up to you guys to try and find out. But yeah, I think we'll leave the final selection until the time.
Why are you leaving it so late?
Well, he's a player that you've got to plan against. So, yeah, it's actually common sense, you would have thought, that we don't announce our side too much earlier than everyone else. So it's just because of where we are and on the travel and the nature of this press conference that I'm put in a position most weeks that I declare, but we're not going to do it this week.
So keeping the Magpies on their toes a bit.
Oh, it's just common sense.
What are the pros and cons you weigh up for Nick this week then, Adam? Like the case for and the case against him playing this week?
Oh, it's just about his body, if he's ready. So he's training well. And, yeah, decision will come in a couple of hours. I'm sure you guys will wait and you'll be fine.
Does it underline the magnitude of a game like this, given your position on the ladder as well, that you need to get him back in? Because there would be a temptation, I'd imagine, to leave him till a home game and not put him on a plane.
Yeah, this game it's a big game for us. You know, I mean, Collingwood at the MCG, I think it was 1995 when we last beat the Pies at the G. So it's a big game for us where we are on the ladder and the continuity that we're trying to get. So. Yeah, regardless if Nick plays or not, it's an important game for us.
If you name Nick, will he play?
Look, let's just move on. Well, you'll find out. We'll move on from that question because I'm just going to straight back it. Yeah, of course Nick I can. Yeah, I get them every day, those questions, so I'm all good with it. That's all fine, but you're not going to get anything out of me, so don't bother.
Are you able to shed any light on your decision on the back 6 and how that's going to shape up?
Nah, not today. All right, not today.
It's going to make it really hard for us.
No, we could have done the press conference in Melbourne, but
That would have made it harder.
It would have, yeah. I mean, pretty difficult. So just stay with me on that one.
So, what have you addressed out of the Melbourne game in terms of some of the things that you need to improve on this week?
Yeah, it's interesting. We're in winning form, but probably not good form. I think we've won 8 out of 10 games, so we're pretty happy with that. But clearly, we can play better. So we've acknowledged that, and another opportunity this week. So I think we found a way to win the last 3 or 4 weeks in particular, but we need to increase our performance, probably more from the collective and a little bit from our individuals as well. So yeah, we haven't hit our straps yet.
Does it start with the hunt?
Oh, it's definitely part of it. The supply on the weekend was really poor for us. You know, I think. It'd have to be a world record to win a game with 30 less inside 50s. So, but they found a way. So that's a real positive for us at the same time as it is a concern. But it's not a big pattern to be beaten that heavily, especially at home. But supply is an issue for us at the moment. Yeah, inside 50s are down this year.
You spoke before last week's game about getting a better spread of contributors. You didn't have it at half time, but you seemed to get more of it when the game really went on the line.
Yeah.
In the last quarter in particular. Is that a good
That's a
sign?
fair comment.
You just need to get that over 4 quarters.
Yeah, I've said this before. We've got a lot of individuals who are coming off career best seasons last year, and to match that was going to be a fair achievement for some of those players. But I would have thought a few have dropped away, and yeah, we need them stepping up. So our good players are playing well at the moment. We just need a few more contributors, and but we did get it at the back end of that game last week, so they found a way.
Do you have to challenge players person by person, or do you talk to the group on a whole and say, look, we need a better spread here?
Oh, it's a bit of both. Yeah, it's a bit of both. I mean, the group's pretty mature. This is our 3rd year together, so they know. I think the relationships have been built now, so we can start being a little bit more direct about what we want and how we manage our players and the collective as well.
What are the challenges? What are the challenges coaching guys coming off their career best season? Sometimes it's not something that's talked about, but trying to meet the expectations they've set from the previous year can be really difficult. Yeah,
I think we start with the collective and where we're at as a group. We achieved some pretty good success last year, but the challenge for us is we want to be a consistent, top 4 side, and we're not there yet. And I don't think having one good season gets you that right. We're still working towards that consistency with our sustained success. So Doesn't necessarily mean you win a premiership every year, but if you can be a contender and up amongst it, that's our ultimate goal. And this is a really good, challenging year for us. You know, we're still in the mix. We're still excited, and it's still a legitimate possibility for us.
But is it preparation or mindset on game day?
A bit of both. Yeah, look, everything's a little bit different. Trying to put your finger right on it's difficult. So staying consistent with your messaging is pretty important from my point of view and our coaches. But the players taking responsibility as well is important.
You said a number of times, Adam, you think you've got another gear. Are we now at the point where you need to find that gear? I mean, it's Collingwood, then a derby, and then the top end of the ladder ahead of that.
Oh, you would have thought we're not going to progress too far if we continue to play the same standard we're playing at the moment. So that's our next step. Our players know that, and we're okay with it. It's all part of our growth as a club, our belief in ourselves, and you know we're still building to what we want to be in terms of that sustained success. So it's not panic stations, but it's just it's real. It's what we're going through.
What do you need to guard against when you play Collingwood, do you think?
I'd say they're probably the number one pressure side in the last, definitely since the bye. With the pressure they put on, and when they're at their best, they cause a lot of turnovers. They score a lot of their goals and scores in their front half from turnovers. So we've got to match that pressure, and obviously playing at their home ground is another challenge for us. So we got the job done over here last time we played, but I think they're a different side. Look, they've been for 3 quarters on the weekend. They were pretty good as well, and that's probably been a pattern for them. So I'm sure they're looking to start a bit better than they have in the past, but they're playing a pretty strong brand.
And given you might get some greasy conditions as well, do you ask your players to simplify ball movement a little bit in the face of that? Don't throw the ball around too much.
That's an interesting question too about how you handle the wet. I didn't think we handled it too well last week in the first quarter. I was meant to be under a mill of rain, and I probably didn't prepare them as well as I should have from a coaching point of view. But even wearing the right boots, is a frustrating thing for coaches when the conditions like that. And I think we're better prepared this week if it's raining or if it's a wet day. It's been pretty wet over here for a few weeks now, so we should be a little bit more accustomed to it than we normally are.
Can you give us an update on how Lewis Jetta is going?
Yeah, look, he's still working through his form. He played okay last week. He won't be playing this weekend, but like I said, we've got patience with him, and he's still got some work to do, but we haven't lost hope.
From the outside looking in, the stakes for this match seem particularly high. Just from the coach's point of view, how do you view the situation at the moment?
Look, I think every game at the moment, and every team that's fighting for that top 8 spot, the stakes are high. So I don't think they're any higher than last week or the week before. It's just, every win's important at the moment when it's so tight. I think there's 4 or 5 teams outside of the 8 who are playing a really good style of footy as well. So there's no real drop off at the moment. So every team you play is legitimately up for the fight.
With all the teams jammed into the 8, are you sensing the tension now? That teams are starting to realise that they can't afford any drop off?
Not really. It doesn't feel any different than normally. But we understand that, every game is critical for us at the moment because we're fighting with 6 other sides for, 2 or 3 spots up the top there. So, but we're still amongst it. So I think obviously that's obvious.
And Brent Harvey's milestone, sweet. He's had your career and 120 more games, and you played 306.
I think he's got me on the career status. Yeah, he's done everything, really, other than a Brownlow. So he's to get to that games record is just it's a credit to him, and what he's learnt and grown. He's grown with the game, and he's still probably the number 1 person we put time into when you play North. Outside of maybe a Wells or maybe a Goldstein, but he's so important to their success still, which is a credit to him. I think he might go on again next year.
Do you think it's a record that will ever be broken?
Maybe one day. But let's see what he gets to. He might be. I'm sick of having to ring him every 2 years when he breaks a milestone. So it'll be 450, then 500, and and we're sick of planning against him as well.